kind of go through each one of them. They're all great teachers, great teachers. They communicate exceptionally well with the players. Coach Hevesy, our offensive line coach, co-offensive coordinator. You got Greg Knox, who's our special teams coordinator, running back coach. Brian Johnson, who is a fantastic young quarterback coach, whom we had the opportunity to recruit at one time. Great player, great fundamentally sound. And Coach Scott Salek, our tight end coach, who does a fantastic job with our players. But an exceptional group of coaches that do a great job at teaching. And I think whenever you get a group of players and you're trying to develop them, you have to have a coaching staff that knows how to work with each other. It's kind of a neat deal. Myself and Coach Hevesy and Coach Johnson, we all kind of have that bond. We're all together at Utah at one point in time. And then Coach Knox has been in this conference for a long time. I think he's going close to 20 years on this conference. What a fantastic teacher he is as well. But we're excited to get around our players first and foremost. Our strength staff did a great job. Their job is to get those guys ready for delivery to us so we can get going during the fall camp. And they came back in great shape. So extremely excited to get going and moving forward. One of the first things we did as an offensive staff, we got together as an offensive staff. We pulled our players in our first meeting offensively. We didn't talk about schemes. We didn't talk about blocks or releases or drops. We talked about Coach Mullen's plan to win. And if you follow those steps and we express that to our players, the importance of following it, plan to win. Obviously, one's play great defense. For us, how does that translate on the offensive side? Well, for us, we've got to get 2 first downs. We told our team, in order for us to play great defense, to help our defense out, we've got to be able to control the ball. We've got to be able to win the battle of that field position by being able to get 2 first downs and prolong our offensive drives. 2, we've got to be able to win the turnover battle. How do we win the turnover battle? Offensively. Well, it starts up front. Offensive line-wise, we've got to make sure we do a great job on the first level of pass protection. We've got to be fundamentally sound. We've got to understand our checks, whether we're gonna slide the line one way or going to redirect it the other, or we're going to side adjust in our pass game. Wide receivers got to be able to understand, how do we pass protect? Okay, for us, how do we help out on our offensive side? Well, we've got to be strong to the ball. We've got to make sure if we're side adjusting, are there any hots? Are there any built-in routes that we need to adjust for split situations? And then obviously as a running back is the ball security point. So you talk about the first 2, play great defense, win the turnover battle. 3rd is the red zone scoring. We've got to get better, in my opinion, in this area. We want to put a high level of increased practice time into this area. We've got to get better. I think there's always room to improve at that level, but we're going to practice. We're going to try to practice red zone more than any other team in the country. And I think if we do that, you'll see the results. And then special teams. We've got to make sure we win the special teams battle and the plan to win. That's the 4th part of it. But how does that correlate with our football team? Well, we averaged 29 snaps per game in special teams last year. If you kind of correlate being able to put your best players offensively, defensively, and special teams on the field to get the production that you want, you're going to have a high chance, a percentage chances go up. So we've told our players, understand, if you're a starter on offense at a skilled position, running backs, wide receivers, you've got to be a starter on special teams. In order to start at a position, you've got to be able to start at a special team. So we've kind of talked about those 4 areas in the plan to win. Before we did anything else, like I said, before we started installing a blitz package or formations. Also talking about our players, what do we want to get across in 2-a-days with our players right now? 1, hard work. We want our players to be able to work extremely hard. They have to understand it's 2-a-days. They can't get bored with the fundamental part, because in the fundamentals, that's where you're going to come back and you're going to win the 4th quarter. If we can be excellent right now with our players in teaching those fundamentals, and we've got a veteran group of players right now, which is great. In the first couple practices out there, it's, in my opinion, night and day difference from last year. You got a group of guys that have been around the program. They understand what Coach Mullen wants. They understand the speed. They understand the tempo. They understand being able to run from one point to another to execute at a high level of intensity. The great thing about that is you've got some young freshmen that came in with this recruiting class right now on campus. And the only thing that they're ever going to learn right now is what's the upperclassmen doing? what's Dylan Day doing? If I'm a young offensive lineman and I see Dylan Day running from group drill to drill and working at a high level of intensity, that's what he's going to learn. If I'm a young wide receiver, if I'm Smokey, if I'm Jesse Jackson, and all of a sudden I see Robert Johnson, I see Jamion Lewis practicing at a high level, well, that's what they learn to do. So right now we're in that process. I'm extremely excited about our group of guys coming back right now. They're working extremely hard, and I think like I said this before, is if they continue to progress, we can stay injury free. We've got a chance to be pretty good on the offensive side of the ball.
Questions for Coach?
Questions?